All right, so we're going to talk about divisions for a minute. So I'll be shooting a pistol match this weekend, and I will be shooting open. The gun that I shoot automatically puts me in open. So this is an STI DVC, and it has been converted to an open gun. It has a threaded barrel with a compensator, and it has a frame mount red dot. So as you can see, the dot stays on the frame as the slide cycles. That's kind of hard to say, sorry. So the dot stays still. That automatically puts you in open division in most matches that I've seen. So this gives you a little bit of benefit. It allows less reciprocating mass. The dot stays on target a little bit more than a slide ride. These days there are guns that shoot very well with slide ride optics. So there are divisions for that. There's also, you can shoot those in open. So that's a preference thing. This gun was built for open, so it's what I have, it's what I run. I also have, which I don't have a dot on it yet, but this gun also would be an open gun. So another, again, frame mount red dot. I don't have my dot on it currently because I actually have another one, a new one on the way. I actually sold my dot and I have a new one coming. So I was hoping to run this gun this weekend. My dot didn't come in time. But again, frame mount red dot. This one is a factory STI DVC steel, has the compensator. This one, the compensator and the barrel are one piece. So it's one of my favorite guns, but unfortunately won't be running it this weekend. So with that being said, this gun is actually able to convert for me to run other divisions. So I still have my irons on this gun. This red dot unbolts right here, and then I have the factory barrel, which swaps out for this barrel. So it gives me an uncompensated DVC limited with no red dot iron sights. It allows me to shoot things like tac ops and 3-gun, or I can shoot limited division in like USPSA style matches. So what else makes a difference on those style matches are the mag capacity. So if I were to run this gun in limited without my dot, without my compensator, put this barrel back in it, I would be running these mags. These are 140 millimeter length mags. Most matches I've ever been to don't actually gauge these, but they just know, there's a big difference between the 140, which sits pretty flush, and the 170s, which stick out. So it's pretty obvious. So what I would do if I were you is figure out what division you want to shoot and buy the mags for that division. So I do have multiple of these mags. These are generally what come with a gun when you buy a gun. And then I only actually have 3 of these mags. Now these are like 28 round capacity. There's, unless I have an issue with the mag, it's very seldom that I would need more than 3. Most of the time I'll start with a 28 rounder and maybe have these 2 in my mag pouch, and then maybe bring a couple of these for backup. If I drop one of these during a reload, if one of them's giving me feeding issues, I can switch over to these. So it's good having backups. I don't personally run like 5 of these. I do know people that do, that would have all these on them just in case. It's very rare that you're gonna shoot a stage that's that round heavy, but it's possible, and depending on how you shoot, how many times you miss, depends on round count. So, if you're new to it and you're starting in open, you might get a couple more of these. These are a lot more pricey. These, generally speaking, are at least $100 a piece. These are a little more inexpensive. I've seen these on sale for $100 for 2, so about 50 bucks a piece. I'm not saying that that's a common thing. I'm not really sure, but that's, I've bought multiple of these at that price. So generally speaking, if you're going to shoot tac ops, you're going to need 140 millimeter mags like these 20 rounders. If you're shooting open, you'll buy these what are labeled as 26, but depending on the follower and the base plate you use, capacity can go up or down. These are 28 is what I have these right now. Now when you go 28, you do lose things, which in my opinion is not a bad thing, but the slide does not lock back on an empty mag. So some, I don't remember if I have these modded or not. I don't think these do either. Yeah, depending on your follower, some will lock a slide back, some won't. These ones obviously don't. None of these. Yeah, so none of these will lock the slide back. But there are some that will. That's a preference thing again. Some people, if you're new, you may not kind of know when you're about to run empty, and you might want it to lock back so that you know when you run a gun empty and don't think you're just jammed or something like that. But once you get used to it and comfortable shooting, you generally know when you're about to run out, do a mag change. You really don't want to be doing a mag change to dry anyways. You want to know that you're going low and do a mag change before you're out. It's a lot faster that way. So so for pistol, that's basically it for this style match. I've got my holster that fits this gun. I'll have a couple mag pouches. Yeah, I would recommend bringing some extra batteries. If you're running open especially, always have extra batteries because you're going to have red dots on everything. You're going to be at a match and one of them's going to die. So bring extra batteries, your eyes and ears, bring a good attitude, have fun. Know that, there's a good possibility that you're going to get out there and, you're not going to place the best, but you're there for fun. You're there to learn. If it's your first time, just expect some humility. And that's something you just have to be ready for. I mean, we've all been there. If we've shot our first match, you'll be humbled sometimes. Maybe not. Maybe you go to your local and you do really well. But just expect to have a good time and don't expect to win. Just be safe, have fun. That's what it's all about. So I do also, one thing I would recommend, a cleaning kit with some oil. I personally run these Aegis Gun Care cleaning kits. They have a lot in them. I've got YouTube videos where I show how much stuff comes in them, but having, oil, some cleaner, a cloth, and some rods, maybe if you've got like a squib or a stuck case, you can clear it. These things are very important, especially during a match. So a little gun cleaning kit never hurts. Have that in your bag. But that's basically it for this. I'm going to wrap up this video. I might show a little bit of my 3-gun gear, but this match we're going to is focused on specifically a pistol style match. So I will quickly show what my son will be running, just so if you decide to shoot your first match as a PCC, which my son being 10 years old, I do recommend something like that. So with my son being 10 years old, it's hard for him to, I guess, pick up on multiple guns. So what I'm really wanting out of him is to learn one gun, be safe with it. I felt like a PCC was a really good start for him. So he should be shooting my F1 9mm AR, and we'll be running these Amin 2 34 round mags. These are empty, but I'll show. So it's a Glock style mag. They fit pretty well in the gun. They run awesome. I love these things. And, so a little less for him to worry about. He's got a red dot on there. He's going to have 2 mags. I'm just going to have him run some stages and just learn and have fun. That's the biggest part of it. So PCC is an easy one. These guns are fast and fun. So this is a really good one to get into. If you're wanting to learn a lot really fast, these are great. If you've got a kid getting into it, I do recommend something like this. 3-gun itself is a little harder for a young kid like my son to get into, because you've got to learn 3 guns. You've got a shotgun, which is kind of hard for a 10-year-old kid to run. Not saying it's not doable, but it is a little harder. So I really like the idea of this PCC being his first match. So I'm excited. We'll see how he can do, and I'm just excited for what's to come. So a quick rundown of the shotgun for open. So I have my Rock Island VR80. These things, they do take a little bit of work out of the box. I'm not gonna lie. This gun's clear and empty, so I'm just gonna show you. I did have to do some mods to this thing. I'm not gonna get deep into that on this video. Maybe I'll do another video with that. I actually just got done doing the same thing to my buddies who's getting into 3-gun, the one that's gonna be shooting this match with me this weekend. But what I was gonna show you is for what I need for 3-gun for this. So I've got a red dot on it. You're going to need some mags. This is that Kydex piece that I was mentioning. It's just cut out to slide right into that Safariland ELS. There are different capacity options. So technically this is like a 10 rounder with a base plate, so it holds like 12. This is a 19 rounder. You could also put a base plate like, excuse me, like this on this 19 rounder. You can make it hold like 21. A good 10 rounder and a good 5 rounder. This is what comes with a shotgun normally. I like these to use for slugs personally. There are people that will do what's called candy caning their mags, where they'll have, you know, birdshot, slug, birdshot, you know, whatever it happens to be. And they'll stage plan based on that. I'll be honest, I'm not as good of a shooter as a lot of those guys. So, you know, I would probably screw that up and slug the wrong target. I personally change mags for slug targets, especially because most of the matches that I shoot have very limited slug targets. And when they do have them, they're generally together. So you'll start off with like 2 slugs and then go to birdshot. So I'll start off with this mag, throw a couple slugs through it, switch to birdshot. Anyways, moving on from that. So these mags, you know, they're large, they're bulky. They're all empty. I'm not loading a gun. I'm just putting an empty mag in a gun showing you. But they take a little bit of getting used to how they load. So, you know, it's a 19 rounder. And after a little bit of practice, they go right in there great. But it does take a little bit of getting used to. They do make, I think, you know, mag wells for these guns. I don't have anything like that. But that's it for the shotgun. You know, I've got my Benelli. It's tube fed. I ran it for years. That gun runs awesome. But these mag feds are fun. The red dot's fun. You know, you're really, I hate saying you're kind of putting yourself at a disadvantage if you're running in open and you're not running a mag fed shotgun. There's obviously guys that still run tube fed shotguns that place well above me. You know, it's not like they're at a huge disadvantage, but I will say these are faster. I mean, you watch videos of guys shooting tac ops compared to open. These guns, you just load so much faster. I mean, there's just no comparison how fast you can load 19 rounds in this compared to 19 rounds in a mag fed shotgun, so, or a tube fed. So this is a general, you know, kind of cheaper, but a good option for running open for the shotgun in the open 3-gun division. So I will move on, show you a little bit about the rifle. I'm not going to get too deep into it. Rifles are pretty simple. It's probably the least amount of difference in divisions in 3-gun would be rifle. The pistol and the shotgun make up larger differences. So we'll go from there. All right, so for the rifle, there's not a lot of differences. So things like bags, this bag attaches to the front of my gun, so I don't have to take it on and off, or I don't have to carry it with me, sorry. I can take it on and off if I want to. It's the Coltac. They have what they call their backbone frame. Attaches right to like a Picatinny rail, which my M-LOK allows me to, you know, put a pick rail wherever I want on the gun. A lot of times for a match, I actually have like a quick detach pick rail, and I can put it back here so I can run the bag further back. And then, you know, I can put a hand stop on the front. There's a lot of options when it comes to open. I'll have a bipod on the front sometimes, so it'll attaches to that same pick rail. You're allowed to run a variable optic, an offset red dot like I showed earlier. Your mags aren't really a huge difference from other divisions in at least most of the matches that I shoot. You know, I can run like a D60. They allow D60 in like TAC Ops division as well. So like I said, a lot less differences on the rifle portion of 3-gun, and that's probably match dependent. You know, most of the matches that I run though, it's very small differences. So I've got a variable optic. I've got my F1 firearms, what I call my Old Glory here. That's their paint scheme that they had on this rifle. It's Cerakoted, and this freaking thing shoots awesome. I love it. Hyperfire trigger on here. I've got that Collis. The ergo grip, I really like this vertical ergo. I also have like an F1 factory grip I really like too. I started running this when I was running a long range rifle match out in Vegas, because it kind of has more of a precision feel to it, but I really do like that. So lots of different options on all these guns, and it's really just a matter of preference. I mean, The rifle, you know, the biggest thing is running accurate ammo, making sure that you can hold like a sub MOA group, just because when you're shooting out, like sometimes we shoot 600-700 yards, and that's not every match, but a lot of the majors you do. So just make sure that you've got accurate ammunition that matches your gun well. You know, there's a lot of information out there on that stuff, but again, not a lot of differences between divisions on the gun. So run what you brung, you know, just whatever rifle you have. I do recommend a variable optic. Collis makes an amazing optic. These things are crystal clear. Really, I love the reticle on them. They shoot awesome. So my favorite out there. But if you have any questions, I can definitely do kind of a more in-depth video on some of this stuff. I just kind of wanted to get a general broad information out there on getting started into 3-gun and other competitive shooting. So if you have any questions, just ask away and maybe I'll do another video. So that kind of concludes our video for today. I kind of went over some of the divisions. You know, I'm not going to dive too deep into some of the rules, but, you know, understand the rule sets, understand the divisions, find a match near you, volunteer to help. Show up, be willing to help, you know, ask the match director before the match if there's anything that he needs help with, he or she needs help with for the match, and be willing to help, be willing to lend a hand, learn, taking as much as you can. Get out there and shoot. You know, the biggest thing is taking that first step. You get to your first match, you get it out of the way, put it behind you, and I promise you that you'll be addicted. I mean, it is a blast. I always jokingly say it's the most fun you can legally have. And hopefully, you know, hopefully you get out there and you try it and you enjoy it and love it as much as we do. Definitely try to volunteer. That's a thing that keeps this sport going, volunteering to help set up, help range officer, anything. I mean, just volunteer, but get out there, shoot a match, try it out. You know, don't be afraid to be humiliated, because it kind of comes with the territory of this sport. But just do your best, be safe, and have fun. And again, if you guys have any questions, I mean, I'm willing to dive deeper into some of this stuff in another video. I've already drug this video out longer than I had anticipated. There's just so much information in competitive shooting, and a lot of divisions, and, you know, there's divisions being added this last year. Another division was added to like USPSA style matches. So just kind of keep up on it, watch some videos, you know, just gather as much information and go give it a try, have fun. So again, if you have any questions, comment below, like, subscribe, you know, watch the channel. I'm going to try to do more videos, try to keep adding stuff, and hopefully when the weather gets better, we'll be doing some more fun videos instead of just more informative videos. But we'll be getting out and getting some shooting done. So keep an eye out.